Right now, at this exact moment, there are military installations operating on this planet that your own government will not confirm exist. Not secret in the way you're thinking, not the kind of secret where officials play dumb at press conferences before eventually admitting the truth. We are talking about bases where the official position, held for decades, is, this location does not exist. We have no record of it. You are imagining things. Some of them are buried 3,000 feet into solid quartz rock, engineered specifically to survive a direct nuclear strike. Some are hidden inside living mount nuclear submarines, sliding silently through tunnel entrances carved into coastal cliffs, completely invisible to every satellite passing overhead. And some are protected by something even more powerful than reinforced concrete and steel. They are protected by stories, deliberately government-planted stories, about alien spacecraft, time travel, and genetic experiments, so aggressively bizarre that no serious journalist, no foreign intelligence analyst, no investigator will go near the area without being permanently and professionally destroyed. Here is what should actually terrify you. It is working. Today we are counting down the top 10 military bases on Earth that governments will not confirm exist, using declassified intelligence reports, leaked satellite imagery, and diplomatic cable data. Stay until the end, because number 1 is not a relic of the Cold War. It is being built right now, and it may already be the largest military installation in the history of human civilization. Number 10 is located on Mount Har Karen in the Negev Desert, and it is operated by something that cannot officially exist, a permanent United States military presence inside Israel. Both governments have maintained the same diplomatic position for over 2 decades. There is no permanent American military presence on Israeli soil. It is a cornerstone of Israeli foreign policy, a sacred diplomatic principle. The base is real. An ANTPY-2 X-band radar at the heart of Site 512 is oriented directly northeast toward Iran, where it tracks Iranian ballistic missiles from the moment of launch, during the boost phase, before they reach apogee. It relays targeting data instantaneously to U.S. missile defense systems and joint command centers near Tel Aviv. In August 2023, the Pentagon quietly awarded a $35.8 million contract to expand what it called life support facilities at an unnamed Israeli installation, barracks designed to accommodate up to 1,000 American personnel. The classified documents do not call it a base, they call it an annex. That single word of administrative fiction is how 2 nuclear-capable governments simultaneously maintain the lie that none of this is happening. That is how you hide a military base in the 21st century. You don't bury it, you reclassify it. Number 9 is the reason the Duffer Brothers created Stranger Things, and what's actually down there is stranger than anything in the show. Camp Hero sits on the eastern tip of Long Island, New York, officially decommissioned in the 1980s, now a state park. During World War I, the entire surface installation was disguised as a New England fishing village. Military concrete bunkers painted with false windows, a gymnasium constructed to look exactly like a church from the air. It worked. The deception was never penetrated. During the Cold War, it integrated into the SAGE defense network and received a 126-foot, 40-ton AN/FPS-35 radar dish, capable of detecting airborne threats over 200 miles away. The radar emitted so much electromagnetic radiation that it disrupted every television and radio signal within miles of the installation. Then came the Montauk Project allegations, classified experiments in mind control, temporal displacement, teleportation, extraterrestrial contact, conducted in subterranean levels beneath the very ground where children play today. These claims were extensively documented, extensively publicized, and so aggressively bizarre that any serious investigation died on contact. That is precisely the point. The subterranean levels of Camp Hero remain the legal property of the U.S. Air Force. Official reason: environmental remediation, a cleanup project so complex it has required classified Air Force ownership of a public state park for over 40 consecutive years. Number 8 has the most effective security system ever deployed by any government in history, and it costs nothing. Archuleta Mesa sits on sovereign Jicarilla Apache tribal land in New Mexico, a legal buffer that insulates it from standard government investigation. For decades, a mythology has circulated about a massive underground facility beneath the mesa, 7 levels deep, with level 6 called Nightmare Hall, and an alleged firefight between Delta Force operatives and gray aliens in the late 1970s. Here is what the declassified files actually show. In the late 1970s, an Albuquerque businessman named Paul Benowitz began intercepting what he believed were extraterrestrial communications near the mesa. The Air Force Office of Special Investigations launched a classified counterintelligence operation called Project Beta and deliberately fed Benowitz increasingly extreme alien disinformation, escalating the claims over years until he suffered a complete psychological breakdown and was institutionalized. The disinformation served a specific strategic purpose. Dulce is 95 miles from Los Alamos National Laboratory, birthplace of the American nuclear weapons program. The surrounding region is densely packed with Cold War-era underground missile installations. The alien mythology did exactly what it was designed to. It buried the real story so completely that 40 years later, you are sitting here genuinely wondering whether the alien base might be real. That is not a coincidence. That is a strategy. Number 7 is worth the overthrow of a democratic government. That is not a claim. That is documented. Pine Gap near Alice Springs has presented the same public face since 1966, a joint Australian-American space research facility. Scientific purposes, civilian partnership, nothing consequential. In 2013, Edward Snowden's documents confirmed what Australian intelligence had been told never to examine. Pine Gap is operated jointly by the CIA, the NSA, and Australian Signals Intelligence. It controls a constellation of geosynchronous satellites over the Indian Ocean and Middle East. Under classified programs Mission 7600 and Mission 8300, it intercepts every phone call, every email, and every military transmission across Eurasia, the Middle East, Africa, and the former Soviet Union in real time. And it routes that targeting data directly into U.S. military drone strike-kill chains in Yemen, Somalia, and Pakistan. In 1975, Australian Prime Minister Gough Whitlam demanded oversight of Pine Gap's operations and threatened to expose the CIA's involvement and shut the facility down. 3 weeks later, he was removed from office in a constitutional crisis. The CIA confirmed it had been monitoring the situation closely. Conspiracy theorists speak about dimensional portals beneath Pine Gap's radome. The confirmed, documented, unambiguous truth is that this base decides which human beings are designated as targets in active war zones. That truth is, somehow, less alarming to the public than the portal theory. We are halfway through, and everything from here forward gets significantly more consequential. Number 6 accidentally killed 6,249 sheep and mailed live anthrax to 51 American laboratories. Number 3 will show you what Area 51 is actually testing right now. And number 1, when you see the satellite scale comparison, I need you to remember that China is officially stating this facility does not exist. Number 6 makes Area 51 look cautious. Dugway Proving Ground in the Great Salt Lake Desert covers 801,505 acres, the geographic footprint of the entire state of Rhode Island. Established in 1942, it is the United States' primary testing site for chemical, biological, radiological, and incendiary weapons, not conventional weapons, weapons of mass destruction, and its safety record requires close examination. On March 13, 1968, an aerial test of VX nerve agent went catastrophically wrong. A jet aircraft released 300 gallons of VX above the Skull Valley test area. The dispersal cloud did not behave as modeled. It drifted beyond the base perimeter. Within 72 hours, 6,249 sheep on neighboring ranches began dying in convulsions. Entire flocks. The Army denied all connection for weeks. When a leaked Pentagon document confirmed the VX release, the military paid $1 million in damages and quietly adjusted some protocols. Then in May 2015, Dugway accidentally shipped live, weaponized anthrax spores to 51 laboratories across the United States and to 7 foreign countries. Live, weaponized, anthrax, mailed in standard commercial shipping container for 13 consecutive months before the error was discovered. The cultural nickname, Area 52, exists because Dugway's proximity to Skinwalker Ranch provides the same investigative deterrent that UFO mythology provides for Area 51. No credible person investigates a base surrounded by documented paranormal lore without their credibility suffering permanently for it. Whether or not the underground city theory is real, Dugway is testing biological and chemical agents in the Utah desert today. That is confirmed fact. It has been for 83 years. Number 5 requires you to hold 2 realities simultaneously. Established May 13, 1946, using technology and scientists captured from defeated Nazi Germany, Capistan Yar was the Soviet Union's exclusive ballistic missile test site for over a decade. Every Soviet ballistic missile from 1947 to 1957, the R-1, the R-2, the R-12 Dvina, the first ballistic missile ever launched from a subterranean silo, was tested. The closed city of Znamensk, built to house the facility's workers, was classified so completely it was erased from every public map in the Soviet Union and required top-secret clearance to enter. That is reality 1, verified, documented, confirmed. Reality 2, in 1948, according to Soviet military records that have never been fully declassified, MiG-15 fighters were scrambled to intercept a silver, cigar-shaped object over the facility. The object was 23 meters in length. It executed maneuvers that exceeded the documented flight characteristics of every known aircraft on Earth. Multiple military witnesses, official Soviet military documentation, and then silence. British intelligence was alarmed enough to authorize a modified Canberra bomber on a reconnaissance run over Capistine Yar at 20 kilometers altitude, deeper into Soviet airspace than any Western aircraft had dared to fly. Soviet interceptors scrambled to destroy it. The Canberra barely escaped. The photographs confirmed a technological program of incomprehensible scope. Here is what confirms Capistine Yar is not a Cold War museum piece. In 2024, Ukrainian forces targeted it with long-range drone swarms. You don't bomb a historical curiosity, you bomb an active strategic target. Number 4 is how you make a nuclear weapons platform vanish. Yulin Naval Base at the southern tip of Hainan Island presents an unremarkable public face: carrier piers, maintenance infrastructure, administrative buildings. China doesn't mind you seeing that part. What China does not want seen is carved into the mountain directly behind it. PLA Navy has engineered a network of submarine tunnels bored through the solid coastal rock of Yalong Bay, wide enough, tall enough, and deep enough to receive, arm, maintain, and dispatch nuclear-powered submarines without ever exposing them to overhead observation. From directly above, from an American reconnaissance satellite or any commercial imaging platform in orbit, those submarines simply do not exist. Commercial satellite imagery at 50-centimeter resolution has confirmed the routine movement of Type 94 Jing-class ballistic missile submarines in and out of these sea caves. Each Jing-class SSBN carries 12 JL-2 ballistic missiles with a 7,400-kilometer range. A submarine departing Yulin undetected can position itself within nuclear strike distance of Hawaii before the United States knows it has left port. Yulin also features specialized demagnetization piers designed to strip the acoustic and magnetic signatures from submarine hulls, making them significantly harder to track once they enter open water. The Cold War was defined by two superpowers watching each other's nuclear weapons at all times. China has spent decades engineering an infrastructure specifically designed to make its nuclear weapons disappear. That changes the entire strategic equation of the Pacific. Number 3 is the most famous secret base in history, and it is proof that the most effective place to hide current information is inside a concluded joke. The CIA formally acknowledged Area 51's existence in 2013. What most people have never examined is what that acknowledgement deliberately excluded. The acknowledged history: Groom Lake, Nevada, testing ground for the U-2 spy plane, the A-12 Oxcart, the SR-71 Blackbird, and the F-117 Nighthawk stealth bomb, 4 of the most revolutionary aircraft ever built, developed and tested here in total secrecy. The UFO sightings from the 1950s and 60s, largely explained. The early U-2 flew at 70,000 feet, where it caught the last light of the setting sun long after ground-level darkness had fallen, appearing to glow and move at impossible velocities to observers below. The government couldn't explain the sightings without exposing classified programs, so it said nothing. The alien mythology filled the void and grew. The 2013 acknowledgement covered programs that ended decades ago. Area 51 is operational right now. The restricted airspace, over 1 million acres of Nevada, remains in full force. The classified budget for current programs is buried inside other classified budgets. Aviation analysts believe it is currently testing unmanned aerial vehicles with performance capabilities representing generational leaps beyond anything publicly acknowledged. The RQ-180 stealth reconnaissance drone is among the programs strongly suspected. In 2019, the Storm Area 51 event became a global phenomenon. Millions of people treated the most classified military installation on Earth like entertainment. The government did nothing. They didn't need to. Area 51 has been managing public perception of itself for 70 years, and it is still working. Number 2 translates from the Bashkir language as Evil Mountain. Construction began during the Brezhnev era. It continued through the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991. It continued through the economic catastrophe of the 1990s, when Russian soldiers were going months without pay. It continued under every administration since. The mountain kept being hollowed out. It has never stopped. U.S. intelligence satellite analysis confirms an excavation project covering up to 400 square miles in the southern Ural Mountains, roughly the geographic footprint of the entire Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. The primary facility sits approximately 3,000 feet underground in solid quartz. The most advanced American bunker-busting munitions are designed to penetrate approximately 200 feet of reinforced concrete. Yamantau is 15 times deeper than the weapon built to destroy it. In 1997, the United States Congress formally accused Russia in the Congressional record on the floor of Congress of maintaining what it called verbatim a deception and denial policy regarding Mount Yamantau. Russia offered 4 different explanations across the years: a mining operation, then a food storage warehouse, then a repository for Russian national wealth, then a civil defense bunker. 4 explanations, all mutually exclusive. None satisfied satisfying anyone who has examined the satellite imagery. Intelligence consensus places Yamantau at the center of Russia's perimeter system, known in the West as Dead Hand, an automated nuclear launch system designed to fire Russia's entire nuclear arsenal without human authorization, even if every person in the Russian chain of command is already dead. Russia has built a machine that will end civilization even after Russia itself ceases to exist, and they've hidden it beneath a mount they named Evil Mount. Number 1 is not a Cold War relic. It is not a historical artifact. It is not finished. 20 miles southwest of Beijing, in the Xiangshan area of Haidian district, China is constructing what Western analysts have begun calling the Beijing Military City. Satellite time-lapse imagery from commercial providers, publicly accessible, shot between March 2024 and January 2025, documents a facility covering 1,500 acres, 2.3 square miles. That is more than 10 times the physical footprint of the Pentagon, the largest office building on Earth. It is not an office building. Deep subterranean excavation patterns in the satellite imagery confirm that the primary infrastructure is underground, nuclear-hardened, bunker-busting resistant, engineered to keep China's entire political and military leadership alive, communicating, and in command even if the surface of Beijing is destroyed in a nuclear-first strike. This facility is assessed to be the permanent replacement for China's aging Western Hills Command Center. When it becomes operational, it will be the most sophisticated command and control complex ever constructed in human history. Now consider the second-order implication. For decades, China maintained a nuclear doctrine of minimum deterrence, a small arsenal, low alert levels, a stated no-first-use policy. Minimum deterrence does not require a command bunker 10 times the size of the Pentagon. You do not build a facility engineered to survive nuclear war unless you are seriously, architecturally, strategically preparing for the possibility of nuclear war. China's nuclear arsenal is estimated to reach 1,500 warheads by 2035. 10 years ago, they had fewer than 200. The Chinese government has not acknowledged this facility. Airspace over it is permanently restricted. Surrounding hiking trails are closed. Anti-drone systems are actively enforced. And yet, you cannot hide a 2.3 square mile construction project from commercial satellites in orbit. The satellites see it. The analysts have documented it. The time-lapse is publicly available to anyone on Earth. And China's response is to keep building. Because China has calculated, and perhaps correctly, that in the information age, the most powerful weapon is not concealment. It is indifference. 10 bases, 10 governments, 10 different strategies for hiding power from a world that's always watching. Some hide behind geography, buried 3,000 feet into quartz so dense that no weapon on Earth can reach them. Some hide behind legal fictions, reclassified as annexes, renamed as research programs, buried inside environmental cleanup operations that never end. And some hide behind the most powerful security system ever invented, a story so bizarre that the rational mind refuses to take it seriously. But here is what every single entry on this list confirms. Governments are not hiding alien spacecraft. They are hiding the ability to survive nuclear war. They are hiding the infrastructure that decides which human beings are designated as targets in active conflicts. They are hiding the capability to launch nuclear weapons from submarines that have already vanished. These are the real secret. They are confirmed by satellite imagery, by congressional records, by leaked intelligence documents that no one disputes. The question is not whether these bases exist. The question is, what are the ones no one has found yet? Drop your most shocking entry in the comments below. And if you want to go deeper into the classified world, the Cold War tunnels, the undersea installations, the facilities that make this list look ordinary, subscribe and hit the notification bell. We will see you there.